Have you ever wondered why individual investors still don't have access to the same quality of tools, yields, and trading infrastructure that institutions use every day? Today's guest is trying to change all that. Hello, everyone. This is Katy Perry back with another executive interview over on Stocktwits, and we are sitting down with Zac Prince, Managing Director and Head of GalaxyOne, a new platform from Galaxy Digital. Zac, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Katie, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Really excited to follow this announcement from you all. We had Mike Novogratz on earlier in the summer, and he was sort of alluding to some of the themes of what was later announced in GalaxyOne. So maybe to start off, give us some quick context. I know a lot of our investors know Galaxy Digital. Tell us a little bit about this new consumer offering that you're heading up over there.
Yeah, happy to. So what we're doing with GalaxyOne is we're bringing the institutional quality that Galaxy Digital has been known for in the crypto financial services market for a long time. And we're now bringing that to the individual investor. So we're doing that by offering a very inclusive platform across banking, brokerage, crypto, and high yield. We're delivering it in an easy to use interface on the web and via an app. And we're also delivering it with a level of customer service that we think of as being more analogous to institutional versus, retail fintech apps where oftentimes it's impossible to get somebody on the phone. And it takes a long time to get somebody over chat. So we launched the platform in early October, and we've seen a really positive reception in the market so far. And we have an exciting product roadmap ahead of us. So happy to dive more into it.
Yeah, definitely want to hear about what's on the roadmap. Before we get into that, what I think is really interesting about this story is you see some of your peers building sort of super apps, but they started with retail and they're expanding, inching closer to institutional. You guys are sort of taking the other approach. You started focused on institutional and going back towards the retail consumer use cases. What specific advantages do you find with that being sort of the entry point to the ultimate app that you've rolled out?
Yeah, I think it's ultimately the quality of the products and the differentiated nature of some of the products that we're able to offer. So thinking specifically about premium yield, which is our product for accredited investors to earn 8% on cash. That product is only available because Galaxy is a large participant, kind of market maker of sorts in the institutional debt and credit markets. And so what we're enabling investors and participants in that product to do is tap into that market that historically has really only been available to institutions. And so that's the first example of a product that, we simply wouldn't be able to launch if we weren't being built within the broader Galaxy umbrella. And there will be others as time goes on. But it's providing that unique access, a differentiated value prop, which in most cases will be either that something is offering a more compelling investment return or access to a product that you're not able to get somewhere else, or offering things to folks at just a lower fee structure because we're leveraging the institutional infrastructure that Galaxy has.
Let's get into the roadmap a bit, which you alluded to, and I know you can't divulge all of it, but there's been a lot of interesting innovations happening in sort of the retail investment financial super app space. Curious beyond sort of the hero yield product that you described, what are some other pockets of the retail investing experience that you all are going after within GalaxyOne?
So, today we already have a checking account with 3.75% interest in FDIC insurance, a brokerage account where you can buy and sell equities commission free, and our crypto account where you can buy and sell and transfer blue chip cryptos. Early next year, we'll be launching support for staking at what I think will be, market leading pricing to individual investors. We'll also be launching support for onboarding entities onto the platform. And for us, that's going to be less about enterprises like large companies. They're well served by the institutional arm of Galaxy, but it's going to be more about LLCs, trusts, foundations, different types of entities that folks use when planning their estate, their wealth management objectives. We'll be supporting those on our platform, which is pretty rare within the fintech retail facing marketplace. And then longer term, we'll be adding products across two big categories, lending and asset management. So on the lending side, providing access to the ability to borrow against assets or to use assets as part of the underwriting process for lending that doesn't traditionally count Bitcoin, for example, as an asset when you're being underwritten. And then on the asset management side, thinking about novel ways of portfolio construction that both amplify returns and reduce tax liabilities. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff that we have in the pipeline.
Yeah, and the LLC piece it's an interesting update. I haven't heard that before with some of the peer platforms. Maybe a difficult question to answer because I'm sure there's lots of different audiences. But you think about sort of the core user type audience you're building for. How would you describe that investor?
So we think of it as mass affluent individuals in the U.S. And one kind of yardstick for that is the accredited investor definition, which represents about the top 20% of households in the U.S. But I want to be clear that we're open for anyone. We will have some products that are only available to accredited investors or maybe even qualified purchasers or eligible contract participants, which is a higher standard. But the platform and a lot of the core products are open to anybody. So you don't have to already be an accredited investor to get onto the platform. You can be an aspiring accredited investor and still access a lot of what we have available.
And I know we alluded to this previously, but you guys have been known historically for serving institutions, obviously now going outside that. And I'm curious, I know we're talking to potential users of GalaxyOne, but also people who might be invested in Galaxy Digital as a business. So curious the decision to sort of spin out this portion of the business. Tell us a little bit about sort of the strategy around that and how it fits within the overall company ecosystem.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things to highlight there. The first is that this was a very thoughtful and strategic expansion for Galaxy. And the core of the idea and the strategy, I would say, is twofold. One, obviously serving individual investors with a fintech platform is a very large market. You don't have to look far to see, highly valued companies in the space. But two, we think that expanding into retail with the GalaxyOne platform creates synergies with the broader Galaxy business, particularly in terms of distribution. So, the premium yield product, we're already distributing something that existed within Galaxy, but only for institutions. And with other products that we launched down the road, I gave the example of staking earlier. Galaxy has a big blockchain infrastructure solutions team. And we're going to be leveraging technology that already exists and has been running and managing billions of AUM under stake when we package that up and deliver it to retail. So just summarizing, it's twofold. One, we think there's a large enterprise value creation opportunity in having a retail platform and growing it over time. And two, we think that it complements the other businesses within Galaxy Digital by providing an incremental distribution channel.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about the sort of landscape. Again, you spoke of this. A lot of highly valued companies building in this space. It seems like everyone these days wants to become sort of the financial super app that is the one logo on the phone to, I guess, rule them all. When you think about some other players in this space, your Robinhoods, Coinbase, there's dozens others. When you go out to the market and talk to your targeted investors, what's the key message that you want to tell them about how you guys plan to differentiate from the competitive set?
Well, obviously the competitive set is very large. You mentioned Coinbase and Robinhood, but there's also traditional financial firms that we view ourselves as competing with. And really, at its core, it comes down to delivering all of these products in one place, delivering differentiated products that add more value for our clients or enable them to do unique things that they can't do on other platforms, and delivering a really high level of customer service. That also we think will be unmatched throughout the ecosystem. One other thing I'll say on this note, though, just maybe referencing some of the names that you mentioned, this is a platform for serious investors that want to manage and grow, significant wealth. And part of that is things that we won't be offering. So, I personally and a lot of folks at Galaxy don't think that you need to have sports betting next to your, primary investment account. Anything that could be kind of perceived as, gambling or that doesn't have a kind of clear safety, risk management, or track record of growing wealth over time is highly unlikely to make it onto the GalaxyOne platform. And so we think that will be a differentiator as well.
So prediction markets, probably not on the near-term roadmap over there.
I mean, time will tell. Is there going to be, investment strategies that emerge where, a passive investor who sets a diversified asset allocation and then lets the market and time do its thing? Will things like that emerge in prediction markets? Maybe, but it's certainly not something that we're, prioritizing for the immediate future.
Got it. And you talked a little bit about volatility. It's always, I feel like you always sort of separate the platforms you really value, not during the good times, but during the sort of rocky times, the volatile times. And I want to talk a little bit about the volatility that's going on right now in the market and how GalaxyOne, the features offering, the positioning, how is that designed to perhaps help investors who are in it for the long term stay resilient when it's not necessarily, up and to the right every single day?
Yeah, so a couple things I would highlight there. One is the yield that's offered on the platform, 3.75% on the checking account, 8% in the premium yield product. That's a great way to diversify, generate steady income, consistent income. But also we have a feature on the platform that enables folks to automatically dollar cost average into equity and crypto positions. And you can do that using the interest that you're generating in the checking account or the premium yield product, or you can also just set automated recurring buys on a weekly or monthly basis. And so we think that for the vast majority of people's portfolios, setting an asset allocation, doing things that you can kind of set and forget and let time and the market do its thing is the right way to go. And so we have features like those available that enable folks to automate their investing strategies.
Turning to the now and then we'll look ahead to the future. But for right now, I spotted you guys have an offer going on. So want to give you some airtime to talk about what that offer is and what the benefits are to potential customers.
Yeah, we're running our first ever promotion for both new and existing customers of GalaxyOne, and the promo runs through December 7th. And if you deposit at least $25,000 worth of cash onto the platform between whenever you're listening to this and December 7th, and you hold it on the platform for 60 days, you'll receive a $500 promotional bonus that's immediately available after the 60-day period. So $500 if you deposit an incremental 25K or become a new user on the platform. You also need to be an accredited investor for this specific promo, so you have to verify your accredited investor status as well to take part in this promo.
All right, sounds exciting. And before we wrap, we got into the midterm product roadmap. Zooming out even more, where do you want to take this platform? What's the long-term vision of what GalaxyOne ultimately becomes over time?
Yeah, we want to be a kind of private banking-esque app for folks to manage their finances in ways that are better than what they can do elsewhere across banking, brokerage, and crypto. And we think for the modern investor, we'll be delivering tools, features, and functionality that they won't be able to get other places, and we'll be delivering that with market-leading client service. And so if you're looking for an easy-to-use, all-encompassing platform that offers you investment options that you simply can't get other places with great client service, we would love for you to check GalaxyOne out.
All right, everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you to Zac Prince, Managing Director and Head of GalaxyOne. That, again, is the new platform from Galaxy Digital. You'll have to come back when some of these exciting updates are out in the market, Zac, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, I would love to, Katie. Thanks for having me.